Hello, this is Mark from Sound Matters and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the Pro-Ject Debut Evo 2, which replaces the Debut Carbon Evo. This is the latest incarnation in that debut line, if you like, and we're going to take a look at this turntable because I think it could has the potential to represent the kind of sweet spots, if you like, in terms of capturing audiophile performance but retaining a still relatively affordable price tag. Can it live up to that expectation? Let's take a look. So the last debut model that I reviewed introduced several very welcome design improvements, probably most noticeably the fact that it introduced speed control for the first time in the debut lineup. So you no longer had to do anything silly with the drive belt by lifting the platter off and moving the drive belt physically onto a different part of the pulley. You had motor speed control so that you no longer had to do this, but they also improved several elements of the turntable in terms of dampening unwanted resonances. Now this is a core principle to kind of, Pro-Ject's design philosophy, if you like, and that continues in this latest model. So what's new in the Debut Evo 2? Well, first of all, the aluminium platter is new and is significantly heavier. The previous model, the Debut Carbon Evo, did have a metal platter, but it wasn't this really dense, heavy aluminium material, which is significantly heavier than it was before. This is great for speed control because it creates greater inertia and creates that kind of flywheel effect and helps keep the speed much more consistent. It has TPE damping as well, which the previous platter did have, but it must be said that with the denseness of this and the TPE damping, if you give it a little tap, it is dead as a dodo and doesn't ring out like a bell like so many other metal platters on the market. Reminds me of a scene from Monty Python. The tone arm also has some significant changes and the pre-fitted cartridge has changed as well. The tone arm is the signature kind of 8.6-inch carbon fibre design from Pro-Ject, which is well known for being very rigid but also lightweight. This helps retain excellent trackability but also helps to keep resonance at a minimum as well because of the rigidity of the design. These two factors are of course essential in retaining high trackability for a clear, undistorted sound. Moreover, the tone arm now has a larger CNC milled aluminium bearing block, which facilitates even greater control over resonance and helps for stability during playback. As always, very low friction bearings and stability remain at the heart of Pro-Ject's ethos when designing tone arms. Pro-Ject have also TPE damped the tone arm Counterweight, which is a feature that was previously reserved for their higher end models. Now, you might not be able to hear each one of these little upgrades at each individual touch point, but I can tell you that controlling resonance on a turntable is very, very important. It's an important part of designing a good turntable because anything that the cartridge picks up will cloud the sound. So we want to control resonances as much as possible. So it's not necessarily the individual damping of, say, like the counterweight that you're going to hear. It's each individual touch point where we control resonance and stop it getting to the cartridge that you will hear at the summed output. It's the final output and all of those small little touch points that we control that add up to something big in the end in terms of not clouding the tone of your cartridge. The Debut Evo 2 comes pre-installed with the Pickett MM Evo cartridge, which is co-designed with Audiophile specifically for Pro-Ject. In general, I really like the sound signature of Audiophile cartridges, and I think they work really well with Pro-Ject tone arms. The Pro-Ject collaboration is also a way of really blending seamlessly into the turntable aesthetics. As briefly touched on already before, the Evo 2 retains that speed control from the Debut Carbon Evo, but it does drop the support for 78 RPM. But given this is quite a niche market, the 78 RPM side of things, I think a lot of vinyl lovers will swap that for the dampening resonance control improvements already stated. Changing speeds remains relatively simple via the discrete rocker switch located underneath the plinth, allowing the Debut Carbon not Debut Carbon, the Debut Evo 2 to retain the cool minimalist aesthetic we've come to know and love from this line of turntables. The motor suspension received a significant upgrade with the last Evo release. This model retains what Pro-Ject call a sophisticated suspension system. Users can also upgrade the subplatter to an aluminium one at a later date if they wish to, which will further improve the damping and also the speed consistency. So probably the closest rival to the Debut Evo 2 is the Rega Planar 2. Now I think these are both fantastic turntables at their price point. They're both quite similarly priced on the market, but there are certainly some pros and cons to each. These are just some of my thoughts that might help you make your decision. So the Planar 2 has no speed control still and requires a manual drive belt move on the motor pulley. The feet are also not height adjustable and the phono cables are moulded into the back. That said, the Planar 2 sports a glass platter which feels much more luxurious than the aluminium while also delivering excellent low resonance qualities. In addition, Rega's adjustable anti-skate control via a discrete dial is, in my humble opinion, desirable compared to the weight and wire method favoured by Pro-Ject. So for the addition of speed control alone, the Pro-Ject does look like better value for money overall, but I have to say I was really impressed recently with the versions of the Planar 2 that come pre-fitted with the ND3 cartridge. So these borrow a little bit from moving coil cartridge designs, and they do have something to offer sonically for those who prefer a more reserved tonal signature than the Pro-Ject turntables, while also having a more kind of open sound. So they're just kind of, it's horses for courses. They're different. It depends what your priorities are, and it depends what you prefer in terms of sonic signature. My review sample of this turntable is the Satin Steel Blue, which is just one of the many colour options that you could choose from. Music lovers can choose between high gloss, satin and real wood finish options, with the satin finishes offering the most comprehensive choice. The new wine red and also the satin fir green are just some of the more creative colours that help this turntable stand out from the usual black, white and wood veneer choices that are offered by most manufacturers on the market. Now, feature lists are one thing, but the proof of the pudding is always in the eating, so I lined up several records for the listening test, including Nirvana's In Utro, The Smiths' The Queen Is Dead, and Portishead Dummy. The Pro-Ject Debut Evo 2 delivers a listening experience marked by warmth and precision, showcasing a full-bodied sound profile that excels in detail. The bass is punchy yet controlled, providing a solid foundation without overshadowing other frequencies. Mid-range performance shines, bringing vocals and instruments to the forefront with natural clarity. High frequencies are smooth and refined, avoiding any harshness that can sometimes be found in budget-friendly turntables. The Evo cartridge really helps the Debut Evo 2 deliver an impressive musical mid-range overall, particularly showcasing layered instrument details and up-front vocals. While spinning Nirvana's In Utro, the Debut Evo 2 really captured the raw power and chaotic energy of the track Senseless Apprentice, and it had just remarkable clarity as well. The grungy guitarist felt thick and aggressive, yet the turntable's precision allowed the layered distortion to remain distinct. Dave Grohl's drumming was punchy, each hit tight and resonant, while Kurt Cobain's intense vocals came through with visceral grit, highlighting the raw emotion involved. Moving on to the Smiths rendition, I was really impressed at how the jangly guitars on the track Big Mouth Strikes Again sounded crisp and bright, showcasing Johnny Marr's intricate playing with impressive clarity. The Debut Evo 2 rendered Morrissey's vocals with natural warmth, bringing out the subtle inflections and the irony in his delivery. The driving rhythm section stayed cohesive and energetic, making the overall presentation lively and immersive. But now it's bottom line time. What's the conclusion on the Debut Evo 2? So when it comes to turntables, the sum is always greater than the individual parts. Pro-Ject have continued to improve on an established classic here, going the extra mile to squeeze as much performance as possible from a relatively cost-effective design. Although some of the improvements are subtle in isolation, they unite to produce an expansive soundstage, offering excellent separation and deep, immersive qualities that make the Evo 2 an unquestionable class leader. For many vinyl lovers, the Debut Evo 2 will represent a sort of sweet spot for audiophile performance at an affordable price. In this turntable, hi-fi sound quality meets sleek design and user-friendly features. Pro-Ject's flagship model really does have to come highly recommended in this price category. That's it from me, but before you go, do check out the description of this video as usual, where there's the discount code so you can get money off vinyl gear at no extra cost to you. I get a very small commission and it goes to help support this channel. I appreciate your support. There's also my Patreon page where you can get exclusive content, bonus content each month. There's audio shootouts over there to help you make decisions on gear. And again, thank you to all of you who already support me on that platform. If you're new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. I'd love to have you on board my vinyl journey with you guys. But until that next video, keep spinning the records, keep enjoying the music, and until that next one, cheers.